You are standing at the checkout counter. The conveyor belt is full. Diapers, canned soup, 3 gallons of water, and a toy your daughter grabbed at the last second. You swipe your card. It buzzes. Declined. You smile at the cashier, mutter something about the chip being dirty, and swipe again. Declined. You pull up your banking app on your phone to transfer funds. The wheel spins. And spins. And then, a message you have never seen before pops up in red text. Account not found. Not insufficient funds. Not system error. Account not found. You look around the store. 3 other people are staring at their phones with the same confused, pale look on their faces. The cashier is trying to call a manager, but the landline is dead. This isn't a glitch. This is the moment your life changes. This is the cyber collapse. And right now, you are realizing that the number on the screen you spent your whole life chasing is just a ghost in a machine that someone just turned off. We operate under a mass delusion that money is real. It is not. Money is data. Your net worth is a row in a database hosted on a server farm that requires electricity, cooling, and internet connectivity to exist. If a kinetic strike, a solar flare, or a sophisticated state-sponsored cyber attack hits that server, you don't just lose access to your money, you lose the proof that you ever had it. The terrifying reality of a financial cyber collapse isn't that the economy crashes, it's that the economy freezes. In a crash, you can still buy bread if you have $1. In a freeze, the concept of the transaction itself dies. We are going to walk through this simulation hour by hour. We are going to look at the specific choke points where the system fails. And we are going to look at the specific preparations you need to make so that when the digital world goes dark, you can still keep your family alive in the physical one. Let's go back to the start. It's Tuesday morning. You're getting coffee. The card reader at the cafe is down. Cash only. You have a $5 bill in your pocket, so you pay and leave. You don't think much of it. You get to the gas station. The pumps have digital screens that are usually playing ads. Today, they are black. You try to pay at the pump. Error code. You go inside. The attendant says their internet is down. You try to use the ATM in the corner. It eats your card and shuts off. This is the denial phase. Most people assume it's a local outage. A construction crew cut a fibre line. A cell tower is down. But then you get to work. The payroll department sends out an email. Direct deposits are delayed due to a vendor issue. By noon, the news isn't reporting a hack. They are reporting widespread technical difficulties across major banking sectors. You still think your money is safe. You are wrong. The attack has already happened. The data is already encrypted. The panic hasn't started yet, but the clock is ticking. Here is the hard truth. If the banking system locks up for 72 hours, most of you are dead in the water. You think you have 2 weeks of food. You think you have a plan, but you are guessing. You are operating on hope, not data. I built the Protocol Survival app to strip away the hope and give you the math. You plug in your actual inventory, your water, your calories, your medical supplies, and the app generates your survival score. It tells you exactly how many days you last before you are starving. It tells you exactly what you are missing. Most people log in thinking they are preppers and find out they have 4 days of sustainability. Stop guessing. Go to protocolsurvival.com right now. The calculator is free to use. Get your score. See the red flags. Fix them before the screen goes black. By 6 p.m. on day 0, the news breaks. It's a coordinated ransomware attack on the Automated Clearinghouse, the ACH system. This is the plumbing that moves money between banks. It's not that your bank was hacked. It's that the road your money travels on has been blown up. Now comes the panic. You run to the ATM. There is a line of 40 people. The first 3 get cash. The 4th person stares at the screen as the machine flashes out of service. The machine isn't empty, it's disconnected. The bank branches are closed. The apps are down. You have whatever cash is in your wallet right now. Look in your wallet. Is it enough to buy a tank of gas? Is it enough to buy food for a week? Because the grocery store just put up a sign. Cash only. No checks, no credit. The prices haven't spiked yet. That happens tomorrow. Right now, the currency isn't the dollar. The currency is physical possession. If you don't hold it in your hand, you don't own it. I can hear the objections already. Sergeant Miller, my money is insured. The federal government backs deposits up to $250,000. The FDIC will step in. Let's dismantle that fantasy right now. The FDIC is an insurance policy against bank insolvency, not a tactical solution for a grid-down cyber event. If a bank fails, the FDIC usually cuts you a check or transfers your account within a few days. But if the data is corrupted? If the ledger that says you have money is encrypted by a foreign adversary? The FDIC cannot cut a check because they don't know how much to cut. They have to reconstruct the database first. That takes weeks, maybe months. And even if they could pay you, how do they get the money to you? The electronic transfer system is down. They can't mail 200 million checks to 300 million people in 24 hours. While you are waving your FDIC pamphlet at the grocery store manager, he is locking the door. The FDIC protects your wealth in the long term. It does zero for your survival in the short term. So how do you survive the liquidity freeze? You need a tiered cash stratagem. Most preppers throw a stack of hundreds in a safe and call it a day. That is a rookie mistake. In a crisis, nobody can break a $100 bill. If you try to buy a $5 loaf of bread with 100, the price of the bread just became $100. You need a mix. Tier 1 is your daily op fund. This is $500 in 1s, 5s and 10s. This is for bribes, small barter and essentials. Tier 2 is your asset acquisition fund. This is larger bills, kept separate, used for big purchases like fuel, a generator or a vehicle repair. Tier 3 is your ghost fund. This is cash you never touch, hidden in a location that is not your primary residence. If you have to bug out, if your house is compromised, you have a cache waiting. Cash is heavy. It takes up space. But in a cyber collapse, cash is the only battery that powers your life. By day 3, the problem isn't that you can't buy food, it's that there is no food to buy. Modern logistics runs on just-in-time delivery. Grocery stores have 3 days of inventory. But here's the kicker. Truckers don't move without fuel. And commercial fuel is purchased with fleet cards, digital credit systems. When the banking sector goes dark, the fleet cards stop working. The truckers are stranded at truck stops in Nebraska and Oklahoma. They can't pay for diesel. They can't pay for food. They park the rigs. The supply chain doesn't slow down, it suffers a massive cardiac arrest. You go to the supermarket. The shelves aren't just empty, they are dusty. The manager is guarding the back room with a shotgun because people are starting to realize that no more trucks are coming. This is why you prep. You don't prep for the storm. You prep for the supply chain collapse that happens after the storm. If you are trying to buy rice on day 3, you are already a casualty. This isn't about you being tough. You can go hungry. You can drink puddle water if you have to. This is about the people who look at you for answers. Imagine your child. They are hungry. They don't understand what a clearinghouse failure is. They just know that the fridge is empty and their stomach hurts. They ask you for food, and you have to look them in the eye and say, "I don't have any." That is a failure of command. That is a failure of duty. The pain of hunger is nothing compared to the pain of watching your family suffer because you were too lazy to buy an extra bag of rice and keep some cash on hand. We prepare so we never have to have that conversation. We prepare so that when the world breaks, our home remains a sanctuary. Don't do it for yourself. Do it so you never have to see that look of disappointment in their eyes. A week goes by. The government announces a partial system restore. They are bringing the banks back online one by one. You rush to your computer. You log in. The site loads. You navigate to your savings account. It should have $40,000 in it. The screen loads. It says $12.43. Panic spikes your heart rate. You check your transaction history. It's filled with thousands of microtransactions to accounts in Estonia and North Korea. Or worse, the history is just blank. The database was corrupted. The backup tapes were corrupted. The bank has no record of your money. Now, the burden of proof shifts to you. Can you prove you had $40,000? Do you have a paper statement? Did you download your transaction history last month? Or is it all in the cloud? If you can't prove it, you are at the mercy of a forensic accounting process that will take 5 years to resolve. You are now poor, not because you spent the money, but because you lost the receipt. This brings us to the most critical, overlooked aspect of cyber survival: the analog backup. You need a physical binder, a waterproof, fire-resistant binder. Inside, you need printed copies of your last 3 bank statements for every account. You need printed deeds to your house, titles to your cars, insurance policies. You need a list of important phone numbers because you don't know your brother's number, your phone knows it. If your phone bricks or the cloud account is locked, you lose your network. You need to scan these documents and put them on an encrypted USB drive. And then you need to put that drive in a Faraday bag. This isn't paranoia, this is administrative combat. When the systems come back up, there will be a line of 1 million people claiming they had $1 million. The people with the paper trail get restored first. The people with, I think it was about 10 grand, get put in the back of the line. This is exactly why I engineered the offline mode into protocol survival. We assume the grid will fail. We assume the cloud will vanish. When you build your inventory and your emergency plan in the app, you can sync it to your local device. If the cell towers go down, if the internet is scrubbed, you can still open the app. You can still see where your caches are buried. You can still see your medical guides. You can still access your encrypted notes, where you stored your account numbers and radio frequencies. The cloud is just someone else's computer. If they unplug it, you lose your brain. Protocol survival allows you to keep your data in your pocket. Fully encrypted, fully accessible, 0 signal required. Secure your data now. Go to the settings, enable offline mode, and sync your loadout. By day 10, cash is becoming problematic. Inflation is hitting the street level. A loaf of bread is $20. People are hoarding the cash because they don't know when the ATMs will work again. We shift to a barter economy. But Hollywood gets this wrong. You aren't going to trade a gold coin for a sandwich. The person with the sandwich can't eat gold. They want batteries. They want antibiotics. They want liquor. They want ammunition. The most valuable currency in a cyber collapse is utility. Can you fix a generator? Can you suture a wound? Can you purify water? If you have skills and consumable goods, you are wealthy. If you have a block of gold and no skills, You are a target. Stockpile small, high-utility items. Lighters, mini bottles of alcohol, packs of AA batteries. These are the small change of the apocalypse. They open doors that money can't. I see the comments typing themselves right now. Sergeant Miller, I have Bitcoin. I have cold storage. I am my own bank. I respect the sovereignty of crypto, but let's be tactically realistic. In a cyber collapse scenario where the power grid is flickering and the internet backbone is under attack, how exactly do you transact? You have a cold wallet. Great. The person selling the gasoline has no internet to verify the transaction. The blockchain is still running somewhere, sure, but you can't access it. And even if you could, the gas station owner doesn't want Bitcoin. He wants silver or canned beef. Crypto is a fantastic lifeboat for wealth preservation after the crisis stabilizes, or for moving wealth across borders. But in the acute phase of a domestic cyber collapse, it is functionally useless for daily survival. Do not rely on digital assets to solve analog problems. You cannot eat a private key. The most dangerous phase isn't the collapse, it's the restoration. The government rolls out a temporary digital dollar or emergency credit system to get the economy moving. They offer emergency loans to cover the frozen funds. But there are strings attached. To access the funds, you have to agree to new terms. Biometric ID, full asset disclosure. If you are desperate, if your kids are starving, you will sign anything. You will give up your privacy for a grocery voucher. This is the trap. The people who prepared, who have 3 months of food and a cash reserve, they can sit back. They don't have to sign the bad deal. They can wait for the real systems to come back online. Financial preparedness buys you the ability to say no. It buys you patience. The unprepared are forced into compliance. Freedom isn't free, and in this scenario, the price is a stocked pantry and a stack of bills. If you have cash and food when nobody else does, you have a target on your back. Operational security, OPSEC, is paramount. Do not flash your cash. If you go to the black market to buy fuel, you don't pull out a roll of 50s. You have 5 20s in your front pocket. That is all you have. If you get robbed, you lose $100, not your life savings. Dress down. Look tired. Look hungry. This is grey man theory applied to finance. If you look like the only guy on the block who ate a steak dinner, your neighbours will become your enemies. Generosity is a virtue, but in a survival situation, it must be calculated. Help your tight circle. Keep your mouth shut to the rest. Silence is security. The moment you brag about your prep is the moment you compromise your perimeter. We spend our lives staring at screens, watching numbers go up and down, thinking that is the game. It isn't. The game is biology. The game is physics. Heat, calories, water, shelter. The cyber collapse is just a reminder of how far we have drifted from reality. When the digital layer is stripped away, you are left with who you really are. Are you a provider, or are you a dependent? Are you a resource, or are you a liability? The banking system is a convenience, not a law of nature. It can break. It will break. And when it does, the only account balance that matters is the one in your pantry and the one in your skill set. Don't fear the collapse. Respect it. Prepare for it. And remember, the grid isn't what keeps the lights on. It's what keeps the monsters out. And sometimes the grid flickers. Make sure you can see in the dark.